Yesterday, you hated Bleacher Report's top quarterback list. Everybody did. But Warren Sharp, he's been on the show. Good dude. He listed the most clutch quarterbacks dating back to 2020 based on estimated points added per dropback. So it's very stat heavy. The most clutch quarterbacks in the league going back to 2020, Joe Burrow, number one, followed by Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady makes that list despite not playing as many years.
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock is 13. Now, here's the thing. There is, you have to qualify by having 50 attempts. So, for instance, Brock Purdy's not on this list because he doesn't have as many attempts.
He doesn't have that many attempts.
Yeah, Purdy did not qualify due to the numbers that Warren Sharp's using here. Your boy,
yeah, there's a lot of
Geno
guys
Smith.
here. I don't. Sorry, I'll take the top 5. Everything else just doesn't work for me. I know what I see.
You're more of an eye test than
Matt Stafford, Geno Smith. Who you taking? $140 left, one timeout, 68 yards to go.
I will take Matthew Stafford.
Okay, there you go. Nothing against Geno, but who you taking? Matt Stafford or Dak Prescott? Who you taking? Yeah. Come on.
So Kyler Murray checked in at number 24. Not clutch. Trevor Lawrence, 30. Jalen Hurts, 37. Now, to defend Hurts, they win a lot of blowouts, so there aren't many close games for him. A guy who will be on the list next year, who just missed because he doesn't have enough qualifications, Jayden Daniels. Boy, he was amazing in clutch time last year with Washington. They won almost all their close games.
He didn't have enough.
He doesn't have enough attempts because he was a rookie. Dak Prescott's a...
Okay, that's where it ends with Jayden Daniels. I was doing this clip just to kind of talk about it before, but, they just kind of briefly mentioned Jayden Daniels, and Colin was, a bit surprised that he wasn't on there, but because he doesn't have enough attempts because he's obviously a rookie. So I was like, okay, let me dig a little bit deeper, and I didn't have to dig too deep. I was able to find this with Jayden Daniels, and it's pretty wild. So this is from Warren Sharp, the guy who did it. Jayden Daniels had only 48 attempts when trailing in the final 5 minutes of games. If we release the requirement to 40 attempts, Jayden Daniels ranks as the number one clutch quarterback out of 70 qualifying quarterbacks the last 5 years. He would be number one in, EPA, number one in 8.9 yards per attempt, number one in completion percentage, 75%, number 3 in success, 57% success. Pretty wild. And it's funny because I came out and made a video that I said, listen, I think Jayden Daniels, because everyone keeps saying he had the best rookie season. And I said, realistically, he actually just had one of the best years as just a quarterback in general. No matter whether you're a rookie or not. And a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, some people gave pushback and they're like, all right, like you're taking it too far. And it's like, I'm not acting like his year was like, if we put it in the context of all quarterbacks, that it was like, it's top 10. But my point is that if we really look at the NFL as a whole over the decades and decades of NFL quarterbacks having great seasons, when you actually look at how the season unfolded, and we do include the fact that he was a rookie, and don't put it just as him being it's his rookie year, but it's still, you can still consider what he was asked to do as a rookie. It's pretty remarkable. And just because you don't throw for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns, like we still to this day still associate that as like, that means you had an amazing year. And I am so confident that we have quarterbacks over the past, however many years, who have thrown for more touchdowns, more passing yards, et cetera, and yet Jayden Daniels had a better year than those said quarterbacks. I'm very confident, especially because his games, none of them were fluff. All the games mattered. He resurrected this franchise from literally nothingness. He did it as a rookie, and he led them to the NFC Championship game. And yeah, they got rocked, but it was against the Super Bowl champions, which makes it even better for Commanders fans as much as it stings. It's better that you lost. It's one thing if now the Chiefs rocked the Eagles, then it would be like, But no, you lost to the team that ended up breaking the record for most points in the playoffs. They absolutely you did better than the Kansas City Chiefs. At the end of the day, you played better and made it a legitimately competitive game until about the fourth quarter or so. That matters. Jayden Daniels played better than Patrick Mahomes. And make no mistake about it, an NFC Championship game is huge. We can't say, well, that was the Super Bowl. Dude, conference championship games are huge. Just making the conference championship game is a massive accomplishment within the NFL. It undeniably is. That's why you get a ring and a trophy. Like, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So, like, let's not pretend like, oh, well, that's nothing. It is. It's a lot. And Jayden Daniels played better than Patrick Mahomes against the same Philadelphia Eagles defense. That has to mean something. Especially when everyone said that Kansas City Chiefs team was one of the greatest teams ever, and they were going to three-peat in the dynasty, etc., etc. And then you put into context of what he was able to do all last season, and you look at this, he was the number one clutch quarterback, and he would be above Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, what do you want me to, what else is there to say at that point? And I forget if I said this in this video or if I said this in the last video, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but EPA, it's not the easiest stat to really digest and understand. A lot of people are just going to pretend like they know it because it seems like it's pretty straightforward. Oh, expected points added per dropback. And it's like, okay, what does that actually mean in practice? It's not the easiest thing. Once you get too stat heavy, it's just hard to always put together, honestly. But there are people who truly believe that is the most important stat. Like Ben Johnson came out and said EPA is the most important stat for quarterbacks over anything else. It is the best predictor of either predictor or indicator of how great of a quarterback you are, et cetera, et cetera. But I still think it could be gamed a little bit. And we know when Jayden Daniels was trailing, not only was he trailing, but the heat was on, the moment was big. And he needed to be great for them to win the game. He wasn't going up against, prevent defenses or, that they were just, he was doing it against the Carolina Panthers. He was doing it against the Philadelphia Eagles, for instance. I made the joke about Dak Prescott before where it's Dak Prescott is always great when trailing because it doesn't matter anymore. He gets rocked for the first half, for the first three quarters, and then is able to play. And it's that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean anything to me. And I wish there was more information of, when trailing in the last 5 minutes, if it was are you trailing in the last 5 minutes and you're down by 14, down by 21, and you're able to put up some points? That means nothing to me. 100% nothing to me. And we know without a shadow of a doubt, when the Commanders were trailing and were having this problem, it was within striking distance. And it was big time. But to be fair, there's definitely some luck involved as well, even for Jayden Daniels. And I obviously just praised him. The Hail Mary, for instance, that's, going to be a big boost in the EPA. Even going up against the Eagles, if Devontae Smith doesn't drop that one pass, Jayden Daniels doesn't get the ball back again. And then now when they were trailing in the last 5 minutes, technically you see, you would effectively take away a touchdown and keep one of the interceptions for Jayden Daniels, which would then also kind of bring him down. So you still do need some help from the powers at be to kind of help you out there. So that's why no stat is ever perfect. But when you see Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes all at the top five, you're kind of this is clearly a pretty decent stat, again, except for some of the outliers, which no doubt it's going to exist. Dak Prescott being there, being that example. Drew Lock, being that example. That makes sense. And so, but, when you realize that Jayden Daniels would be number one, it's safe to say, well, then that's not an outlier. He's part of this party. And if you're at the top of the list and you're topping Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes, and you're going to try to tell me that he did not have one of the best seasons as a quarterback in the NFL, whether rookie or not, I'm going to say, you're crazy. I mean, he was going to be in the 4,000 passing yards, 900 rushing club if he actually played the full season. Which he did not, in terms of, he sat out for the final game or, for the half and whatnot. He sat out fourth quarters and stuff like that, but he easily would have been able to get there. And that was the first time, Lamar Jackson did it the first time ever last season. And Jayden Daniels would have done it too. He would have done it too. He would have been number one most clutch quarterback in EPA. He would have led his team to the NFC Championship game. I mean, I don't know what else you would possibly want him to do. So yeah, pretty special. Not pretty special. The definition of special. Jayden Daniels is the definition of special. The film says it, and this is why I love what Greg Cosell says, and this is where I'll end it here. He says, Greg Cosell is very much like, I just go by what the film tells me. And he goes, I look to see what the film tells me, and then I look for the stats to see if they, if they essentially co-sign, what I'm seeing, if they validate what my eyes are seeing. He's like, but I look at what the film tells me first more than anything. And that is the way how it should be. It should be film and eye test overall. It really should be, because again, stats can be so wildly misleading. But when you see the film and the stats combined together, well, then there's no counter. Just is the reality. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jayden Daniels being the most clutch quarterback in the NFL, topping like literal legends? And yet people try to pretend like it was just pretty good. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, because it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.